are and how you guys are related.
Okay. I'm Jarita Rainey. My mother is Carol Cummins. My grandmother was Margaret Hughes Sullivan. And my grandmother and Mary Frances' mother were sisters.
So you, and this is, tell us who you are.
I am Mary Frances Tanner. I am Ora Epps Hughes, the Ora Hughes Epps daughter, which was Margaret Hughes Sullivan's sister.
So the two of you are related. You are
First cousin.
First cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me who you are.
I'm Kayla Royal, and that's my grandma.
This is your grandmother. And this is who to you?
First, second, or some cousins.
Second or something cousins. Okay. And not only do you guys have a history at St. Peter Claver together, you also share a history of Pleasant Hill together. Explain that to me. Explain your history at St. Peter Claver. There's several generations of history, I think 5 maybe, and then there's also some history here in Pleasant Hill. Explain those histories for me.
Well, my grandmother, Margaret Hughes, and Ora Epps were sisters, and they lived next door to each other. We all grew up next door to each other.
And where is that?
Neal Avenue.
Neal Avenue is where you were. You grew up and then raised.
I was born there.
Born at the house that we met at before.
Right.
And there's been how many generations since you that's been tied to Neal Avenue?
Ooh, Lord.
At least 4 more? How many more generations beyond you?
It was my
Grandma. Your mother.
My mother's mother, Grandma Sally.
Grandma Sally.
So that's 2 generations
My
before
mother,
you.
that's me. And then my children.
And grandchildren.
And grandchildren. And I got 1 great-granddaughter.
Okay.
So that's
about
1, 2 generations, then you, then 1, 2, 3 more generations after you.
I got 3 generations.
So that's 6 generations have been connected to Pleasant Hill, specifically connected to Neal Avenue. So you guys have a long-standing connection with this community, but you also have almost as long of a connection with St. Peter Claver. Explain that connection with St. Peter Claver, because it seems like it goes back to St. Peter Claver before they moved here to Ward Street, which has been 100 years, and relocated here in 1913. But your history with St. Peter Claver, your family's history, goes back before that. Explain that connection.
I think Mama told me that Grandma Sally worked in the convent, which was my great-great-grandmother.
And my grandmother.
Her grandmother, my great-great-grandmother. She worked in the convent when they were on Stanislaus.
I don't know where she worked at back there. Then I know she did on Wall Street. But I don't know how far they were from Stanislaus. I know they might have gone to school. I don't know. We don't know that. We know from St. Peter Claver.
So they worked there, and then at some point, your family became students here. And when did that start? Which generation was that?
I know my grandmother was in the first graduating class.
That's when she got that suit on. She made her. That was her grandmother.
My grandmother. She was in the first graduating class.
And that would have been 19...
Okay, the report card we saw was 1916, but I don't... Seemed like they came here in 13. So, the first class, let's say they came in 1913, 8 years, maybe 1921 or something like that. And that report card we saw was 1916.
And every generation since then has been connected with St. Peter Claver?
Yes, I've been St. Peter Claver 70-some years, maybe.
You've been a member here because you told me about your involvement here and singing in the choir.
Yeah.
What other kinds of involvements has your family? Either you in
Every involvement ever been in here.
And everything that
We've been in everything
that goes on in this church.
That's right.
It's a long history. And your family being connected not only to this community but also to this church.
Yeah.
And then you said you also have come back to St. Peter Claver, not as a member, not as a student, but now as an educator. Explain that.
After retiring, I didn't really feel like I was ready to retire. So I went back to school and finished school and decided, well, maybe I'll come up here and work with the children here. Just trying to give them some of what I got from attending school here. The blessings that I received from being a member of this church and also attending this school. And I became a teacher about 3 years ago, 4th grade teacher. This year I'm in middle school. It's been a little rough, but I'm not gonna give up.
And Kayla, did you go to school here and you've also been a member here? Which grades, where are you at in school now?
I started in 3rd grade.
And are you still in high school? What grade are you in now?
9th.
And are you still here at St. Peter Claver goes to 8th
Right,
grade?
She's at Mount DeSale.
At Mount DeSale. And if there was anything, share with us, if you can sum up, being a member here in Pleasant Hill, but also being connected with this church home and with the school. Explain to us what that has meant for your family, for your life.
What it meant to our family, we were all together. We wanted to see one, you see the other. But we were all connected as one family.
Yeah, it's the closeness that our family shared from being members of the church and attending school and then reliving in the same neighborhood. Just one long extended family. And like I told her, I think we had everything there was to. I can't remember missing anything or doing without anything. If anything, I feel like our lives were enriched from being members here and going to school here and living near each other.
What's your name?
Alexa.
Alexa. And you spelled it for me too. Spell it for me again.
Alexa.
Wow, that's pretty good. And you said that you were in school. You're in school at St. Peter Claver. What grade are you in?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten. And how old are you?
5.
Do you know who your teacher is? Who's your teacher?
Her name is Miss Mario, and she almost here, and I think her mother is gonna see how good we are.
Excellent. So have you been a good student so far? And tell me what you've been doing in kindergarten. What do kindergartners do here at St. Peter Claver?
They go to church, and we play in that school, in the playground.
And how do you like going to school here?
It's fun.
So tell me about your regular day. You get to school, is it pretty early in the morning? And tell me how your day goes. What's the first thing you do when you get to school?
I gotta pack up my book bag and do my homework when I get home, and then all my friends was looking for me because I was too late, and then I got a tardy slip.
Oh, no. Okay, so when you first get to school in the morning, tell me what happens when you first get there. First thing in the morning when you get to school, what happens?
I always be late, and I get a tardy slip.
Okay, so after you get your tardy slip, After you get to the classroom, tell me what happens first. Do you guys do anything special in the morning at school? What do you do? What do you do special first thing?
I love to play with my friends, and I love to play with all the toys at home.
Okay, so in the morning, when you're there at school, does your teacher do anything in the morning?
She worked on her desk, and the first student, she wanted to help us. Her name is Michaela.
Oh, it's one of your classmates. So do you sing a song in the morning? Do they?
We sing a song though, but we don't say little kid stuff.
Oh. Is there a song you sing every morning?
Yes.
What's the song you sing every morning at school? Is it in your class? What song is it?
No, it's at home.
No. School. When you're at school.
I don't know.
Let's see. So you get there, do you go and sit at a table or do you sit at a desk? Tell me about your classroom.
I sit at a desk and lay my head down, and I put my book back in my cubby.
You have a cubby, and you put your book bag in your cubby, and then you come back to your desk? And then what do you do? So all of the...
I color.
You color. Really? And then, is there something else that you do? Does your teacher talk to you in the morning about anything? Or does she teach you, certain things?
She teach me stuff, but she don't talk every day. She can't talk loud cause something stuck in her throat.
Stuck in her throat, okay. And tell me the kinds of things that she teaches you. You were able to spell your name, so...
Yeah, she let us do our names if we get a timeout.
Okay, but...
And they let us do the letter B's.
So you're learning about your letters? And what about numbers? Are you learning to count? Are you learning your numbers?
Time to count, but I know how to count.
You know how to count? Really? In kindergarten?
At home.
At home? Really? Very good. And somebody at home was teaching you how to count?
No, I did by myself.
By yourself. Excellent, excellent. And you were able to spell your name, so it sounds like you might know your letters too. Are those things that you learn at school? Do you practice writing your name at school?
If we get a timeout.
Oh my. Well, I hope that you're not doing that too often. And you play with your friends at school? And are there
One time I got a timeout.
Oh, well, I hope you don't do that too often, because it sounds like maybe you might have been doing something that you weren't supposed to be doing. And are there other teachers at this school, or is your class the only class? Miss Pat. Who was Miss Pat?
Miss Pat, she going to in my school, and Miss Sassa go in 2nd grade.
Really? So there's other
And Miss
students.
Milo go in 8th grade.
Really? So are there a lot of students at your school? Really? And how do you like it? Do you like going to school every day?
I like a lot of schools.
Tell me one thing that you like most about your school. One thing you like the most.
I like to play games and write stuff on the board.
And then tell me one thing that you like most about your teacher.
And one time, Javius, the little boy that go to my school, he always be good at me and Tystone.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're good at school. Tell me about your teacher. Tell me one thing that you like the most about your teacher. What's the most special thing about your teacher? What do you think? The most special thing about your teacher?
I love to talk to it and they gotta say, Miss Bayo, I gotta use the restroom.
Okay, and tell me what you like best about her.
I like her face. And she go to my school.
She goes to your school. And is there something special that she does that you really like?
This Miss Pat.
You like Miss Pat a lot? Tell me what's special about Miss Pat.
She always passes toys for everybody that we can play with.
Really? And you really like Miss Pat because of that?
Yes.
Very nice, very nice. And let's see if I have one more question. What's the best thing about your school? What's the best thing? Think hard.
I like Mr. Deacon Dave.
You like Deacon Dave? Why?
Cause when I saw him at the football game.
Who is Deacon Dave?
Principal.
He's the principal? Deacon Dave is the principal? And you like Deacon Dave a lot?
Yeah.
And what's the best thing about Deacon Dave? What do you like best about Deacon Dave? About your principal. What do you like about your principal?
I like the church he made for God and us.
Excellent. 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 Alexa, thank you so much. Did you get that?
Do they eat lunch at the school?
Do you guys eat lunch here? Wait, come back and tell me about the lunch. Tell me about the lunch. Tell me about lunch. You eat lunch here every day?
Yes.
What do you usually eat for lunch?
I used to eat French fries and hamburgers Mr. Deacon Dave made us yesterday, and it was good.
Really? Hamburgers and French fries he made yesterday? That Deacon Dave sounds like a really nice principal. Anything else you want to tell me about your school?
Tired.
You're tired? Okay.
My gosh. Great.
My family is Catholic, and actually my great-grandmother worked in the convent. She worked for the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament, and I think that's how it all got started. And her daughter, which is my grandmother, she was in the first graduating class, 1916, from St. Peter Claver. Then my mother went, I attended, my daughter, my granddaughter, now my grandson. And it's just a part of who we are as a people. We grew up in Pleasant Hill, right there on Neal Avenue. We walked to school every day. We enjoyed coming to school here. We had a great time here. We enjoyed interacting with the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament. And just their presence, meant a lot to us. And I hate to say it, but I think that's what's happening now with this school. That presence, although it's here, but it's not as strong as it was when they were here. But we all love this school, and we all are members of the church. And when I recently retired from work, I retired early. I worked at Brown & Williams, and then they closed. So I went back to school and got my degree, and then I got a master's in education, and then I thought it's time for me to give back. So I came over here to try to give these children some of what I got from going to school here. Just, try to share with them the blessings that are here in this rich history and how we felt about being here and trying to give them some of that. So this is my third year teaching here, and I've had the opportunity to teach my grandson. I had 4th grade, he's in 5th now, so he told me the only thing about coming back this fall was the fact, I won't have you for a teacher, Grandma. But it's just been a big part of our family and our lives.
Well, I'm going to take you back. Your great-grandmother, what was her name? What was her full name?
Her name was Margaret Hughes.
Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she Like I said, she was in the first graduating class, and she was a big supporter of St. Peter Claver, school and church. She actually purchased the first statue, the Catherine Drexel statue. She actually donated the money for them to get the first statue. She had the opportunity to meet Catherine Drexel when she came here. She had a chance to meet her. So that's always been a real special part of our lives, knowing that our grandmother actually got a chance to meet her. She was small, but she, like I said, she did come here, and my grandmother had a chance to meet her.
That's fantastic. Now, her mother worked here.
Right.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that would, what are we talking about, 1890s or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think she actually worked when school was on Stanislaus Circle. Before they moved here, she actually was employed there. And then when they moved here, she worked in the sister's house. And my mother actually mentioned to me that was a fun part of her life coming here. She remembered when school was over, she got to go to the sister's house and help, which would have been her grandmother, work in the sister's house.
Now, working in the sister's house, what did that consist of?
Well, I think she cooked, cleaned, probably washed and ironed, so that type work.
So taking care of the sisters while the sisters actually taught.
Taught, right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Was it, if you can, I know you probably talked about it in your family, when your grandma went to school here, was it all sisters?
Yes, it was. It was. And when my mother came, it was all sisters. When I came, we had 2 lay teachers, a kindergarten teacher and a second grade teacher. Everybody else were nuns. And I remember Mother Josepha, she was here, Sister Gemma, Sister and Regina. It was just so many that we enjoyed being around. And
How many nuns would be here? Can you remember, like, when you went to school here, if there's any difference in the amount of teachers?
let's see, probably, okay, we had 8 grades. And at that time, the grades were 2 grades in one classroom. So 3rd and 4th were together, 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th. So we had a nun for each one of those grades. So maybe 7 or 8 that they had at the sister house.
Where were the nuns from? Do you remember? Is there any one place or?
Seemed like to me most of them came from Baltimore. I think that's where they came, or either maybe in Philadelphia. They may have a sister house in Philadelphia.
Now, were all of them fairly educated?
Yes, they were.
So they had gone to secondary school
Mm-hmm.
when they came down here?
They sure did, They really did.
So they were Northerners
Yes.
in a black neighborhood
Yes.
in Macon, Georgia.
Right.
What do you think? I mean, for them, if you were to look back, was that a hard thing, or did you guys make them feel welcome? How did it all work?
I think we did, because I really don't remember any. We just more or less felt one big family. You know, I know it existed as far as conflict. You know, black and white, and
Well, even
But-
food very different, no?
but to me it didn't. I didn't feel any of that. I didn't see it. It just, we all blended in together.
That's cool. When you went to school here, did it have a wall around the complex? Do you know, this is very much of a...
No, it didn't.
It didn't?
Mm-mm,
Okay,
it
so it's more of
didn't.
an open campus.
It was, yes, it was open. And that's, guess what I'm trying to say is we didn't feel that, like we weren't safe. We all felt safe. And we didn't worry about locking this or locking that. You know, it was just close-knit community, and we all felt safe.
Now, what did, in terms of the occupations of your parents, what did they do?
Let's see. Now, my grandmother, she was a seamstress. So she sewed for a living. And then my mother, she also did the same thing. She was a seamstress, part-time. She went back to school and got her degree in business, and then she became a personnel secretary for the Board of Education. So education has been a big part of our lives. And I think with me going back to school, I was in my 50s, I went back and got 2 degrees. I'm trying to set an example for my children and my grandchildren that education is very important.
Do you think that's for people in Pleasant Hill in general?
Yes, I do. I think it's something that we need to show the community, because I know a lot of people probably got left behind or maybe still there, but there are ways to better yourself, and education is the first thing you need to do is get educated.
Now, in your home, did you grow up in a single-parent home?
No, my father was present, and then he died at an early age, and then my mother remarried. So we still had a father then too.
And you lived on Neal Avenue. How many were your brothers and sisters did you have?
I had 2 brothers. I'm the only girl. And then when my mother remarried, I had another brother. So it was 3 boys and 1 girl.
What kind of house? Can you just describe the house that you grew up in? If you remember it?
Yes, it was 2090 Neal Avenue, and it was 2 bedrooms. We had a living room, dining room, kitchen, 2 baths. And I would say it was, it seemed big to us then, but now when we look at it, it was kind of small. But we did well. We managed to have a good life, I think. I can't think of anything that I may have missed. I felt like I was given everything I needed. I finished Peter Claver, and then I went to Mount DeSales. I also graduated from Mount DeSales. I was the first one in our family to go. And then my youngest brother, he went to Mount DeSales. And then I sent my daughter. Now my granddaughter's at Mount DeSales. So it's just a tradition, really, just, in the Catholic faith. And we just feel like that was the best thing for us to do.
Okay. Now you said your house had 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Did it always have 2 bathrooms? Do you remember, Tom? You're fairly young. It always had plumbing when you were growing up? Did you ever hear about houses that didn't have plumbing?
Oh yeah, yeah. There were houses that didn't have plumbing. There were, So, in fact, some in the neighborhood. But by the time I think, because I can remember, this is probably my other grandmother's house. We would take a bath in the tin tub. I remember that, the big, as they call it, a foot tub, I think. And then they put the hot water in it, and we would take a bath in that. So I do remember that.
Your other grandmother, did that family live in Pleasant Hill as well?
No, they lived in East Macon, Fort Hill Street.
Now, how did you get around as a kid?
Well, we walked. And if we didn't walk, we took city transportation. Because I can remember every Friday, once we would get home from school, we would get our things together. We went to visit the other grandmother over the weekend, the one that lived in Fort Hill. We'd had our brown grocery bag with our clothes in it. We would catch the city bus and go and see Grandma. So we got around. We didn't always have a car, but we got around.
And where did your family shop, for instance, for groceries?
At that time, Piggly Wiggly. They went, and then I think we had a Colonial grocery store.
Were there any smaller, like, corner stores in
Yes,
the woods?
yes. It was one on Forest Avenue, Hughes Grocery. It was right there on the corner of Forest, and it was Douglas at that time, but I think it's Walnut. It was one there, and then there was another one on further up, maybe a block up. There was another little grocery store there, and then Bankman and Wade, which was up Rogers Avenue, sort of up that way, but we walked just about everywhere we had to go.
When you were a teenager, where'd you go for fun? And probably there's kind of bad fun, good fun if you're talking but where do kids go? Just kind of.
Well, we went to the movies, the Douglas Theater. We went there whenever they had movies. They used to have concerts and things there. We went there. A lot of times, at that time, they had sock hops in the church basement. Here at St. Peter Claver, we would have dances, and I think that was about it.
Did people, did you date guys that were from Pleasant Hill? Or did you get to meet people from all over Macon?
Probably from Pleasant Hill, and most of them were guys that I had known from St. Peter Claver. So it was, like I said, it was kind of close knit.
And did you have to wear a uniform?
Yes, I did.
Well,
I wore a uniform for 12 years.
Was it different than the one they wear today?
Oh, yes.
Can you tell me about it?
Well, here we had the jumpers, and we wore the white Peter Pan collars, and the dress had to be no more than 6 inches above the knee, and they would actually measure to make sure those dresses had to be right here. It couldn't be over the knee, you know.
So they would measure up from the floor.
And those uniforms didn't change. We had the white Peter Pan collar and the plaid jumper. But as my children went to school here, you know, the colors changed. They got the navy blue, the light blue shirt, and they grandchildren came, they had the gold shirt. They had the polo type shirt. When my children were here, they had the button-down shirt with the ties. And then at Mount DeSales, we had to wear a skirt, white blouse, and a blazer. We wore that. I wore that the whole 4 years I was there. But when my daughter started, they wore like the khaki pants, and either they had a white shirt, or I think they just wore a white shirt. And they didn't have to wear the blazers. And now that my granddaughter's there, they have something like a little skirt, and I think they call it a squirt. You know, it's got the shorts under this. And then they have a choice of yellow and white and navy shirts. So the dress code has relaxed quite a bit.
Well, Kayla, your granddaughter, who we just interviewed before you, one of the things that she mentioned, that she's heard stories about discipline was different in the past. And about rulers and knuckles. That was what she brought up, I think. But, I mean, I went to Catholic school too, so there's lots of stories. But what were the stories you folks told? Because nuns, as a topic, engender stories. I don't know if that's the way it always was when we were growing up. Same thing for you?
Yeah, they were strict. They really, and not with me so much as with my daughter when she was here. She remembers getting tapped on the knuckles. I remember they screamed at you, that was enough, you know. Because I can remember when, if you say, you know, you weren't supposed to chew gum, but, you know, some kids, they would come to school with gum, and they would yell at you, and sometimes they would make you put the gum on the end of your nose. So that kind of made you feel so bad you wouldn't want to chew any gum anymore. But I think it's just their presence that made you afraid, you know. So you did the right thing.
Did they try and instill in, especially the girls, some sense of what a lady is? Can you describe that for me? Anything you remember?
Let me think.
Well, you brought up chewing gum. That typically is one thing that ladies don't do, so to speak. Yeah,
chewing gum. And I think they didn't like for us to yell. You know, it's one thing if you're being chastised, but just to talk loud, and that was something that they didn't approve of. You know, keep your voice down. A lady does not scream and yell, just talk normally. And they didn't like us to wear makeup, which was, I think, was a little early anyway, but a lot of girls do wear makeup, so they checked to make sure we weren't wearing makeup. And like I said, they always check those uniforms, you know, and made sure that we represented St. Peter Claver, and they wanted to make sure we looked the part.
That's a good way of putting it. Well, when you look back at that, going to school here, Were you expected to go into high school? Did you at home and at school, and finish college, or what? How is education valued in home and school? If you can give us some sense of it.
Well, it was valued, I would say, very well, because at the time, it wasn't when I went to school at Mount Desert, it was in the 70s. And so that's when the schools were starting they had to mandatory desegregate, So at the time when I got ready to go to Mount Desert, I wanted to go to, I guess where I lived then, I wanted to go to, I guess it would have been Miller. It was all girls school. But that's because I just thought it would be something different. I wanted to try to go in public school and not going back to Catholic school. But I really didn't have that choice. It was something I was expected to do. So I went to Mount Desert. And then when I graduated, I realized I was glad I did go, because they really prepared me for college, and in the future, they really prepared me. So when my daughter graduated, it was expected for her to go to Mount Desert, but she pleaded and pleaded, so I let her go to public school 1 year. I also told her, I said, if your grades suffer, you'll be going to Mount Desert. Needless to say, she graduated from Mount Desert. It wasn't so much of her grades, it's just that she got into clothes and boys, and it was just like school was the third thing on her list. So I said, well, we might need to go to Mount Desert so we can get our focus back. So she thanked me when she graduated. She said, Mom, I'm glad you made me go. So, yeah, education was a big part of our lives.
All right, so we've got Jessica and Taylor and Kirsten. I'm glad you guys came in to talk to us a few minutes. Jessica, tell me your name. Tell me your full name.
Jessica Kaylin Warnham Pitts.
And how old are you?
10.
Yeah. What grade are you in?
5th.
5th grade. Okay. And Taylor, tell me your full name.
Taylor Andrea McElroy.
And how old are you?
10.
Good. And what grade are you in, Taylor?
5th grade.
5th grade also. And Kirsten, tell me your full name.
Kirsten Nicole McElroy.
And how old are you, Kirsten?
8.
8 years old. I'm glad that you stopped by today to talk to us. Now let's see. Let me ask you questions. Are any of you in school at St. Peter Claver?
Yes.
You are. Taylor is, Kirsten is, and Jessica, you used to be in school here. Which grades did you go to school here at St. Peter Claver?
I only went to preschool, kindergarten, and half of first.
Okay, so you've been almost 3 years here. And how long have you been in school here, Taylor and Kirsten?
For 6 years.
6 years. So is this the only school you've ever gone to?
No.
But you've gone to this one for a long time.
Yes.
And what about you, Kirsten?
5.
Is this the only school you've been to?
Yes.
Because you're in what grade now?
3rd.
3rd grade. So that would have been preschool, kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and now 3rd grade. Wow. So tell me about this school. Tell me. Let me start with a big question. If you had to think of all the things you've done here at St. Peter Claver, think real hard. What's like the best thing that you've done? Or best experience, you know what that is? Experience. Best experience you've had at St. Peter Claver. Think hard. The best one. Got it, Jessica? All right.
The best experience I've had at this school is actually going to it and making new friends and actually having fun, talking to the teachers, everyone knowing me in this school, actually.
So people everyone knew you here?
Technically, except for the new kids, but almost everybody knows me at this school.
How do you know these people? Do you live nearby or?
No, when I used to go to this school, my grandma used to work, and so I would used to go around the school, talk to other kids, and just walk around.
Your grandmother worked here?
Yes.
Was she a teacher? What did she do here?
She would be I think the 6th grade teacher, and she would either substitute and she would teach Sunday school.
Oh. Now, do you actually attend this church as well?
Yes.
You do. How long? Do you remember ever going to any other church, or is this the only church that you've ever
Only
remembered?
visiting other churches. I've always liked this church better.
Excellent. Excellent. And Taylor, do you have like your best memory?
Yes.
Okay, tell me.
May Festival.
May Fest. Now, I don't know what May Festival is, so explain that to me and then tell me why you think it's so great.
It's a day in May where we get out early from school and we go to the playground, and they have like bouncy houses and rock climbing, and they have face painting, ball toss, and we can just sit down and talk with our friends and have fun.
Is this something that happens just once, or it happens every May?
It happens once every year.
And once every year, so it's always in May.
Yes.
Is it a celebration of something, or it's just because it's May?
It's just because it's May.
Really? Excellent. Kirsten, what about you?
Being here today with my friends.
Really? So some people might not know why you're actually here today. So tell me why you're here today. You guys having some sort of event or something? Tell me about it.
A picnic.
Really? And some of your friends are here? So why is that special to you?
Because I know my friends for a long time.
Are these friends that you've met here at school?
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you come here to church also?
No.
Just school. And do you live in this neighborhood? No. You live close by? Mm-hmm. So you come a long way to get to school every day? Really? Wow. So tell me, in your school, you said that you know, when you were here at school, you knew everybody. Do you guys know a lot of the people at your school, maybe in your class, and also others that are in other classes? Do you get to know the people that you were in school with? Tell me about that. Have you made friends maybe in other classes? Or?
Yes.
And I'm thinking about the teachers. Tell me something about the teachers here. What do you think about the teachers here? What do you think, Jessica?
Well, the teachers are actually really good, and they've been here. Some of the teachers have been here a very long time, and every teacher that they hire is excellent, and they've done a good job teaching every single class that they teach.
What about you? What do you think about the teachers here?
I think the teachers, some people might think they're strict, but when you get to know them, they can help you with your work, and you can learn more, but you can also have fun.
Excellent. What do you think about the teachers here?
That they're really nice, and they will give you a good education.
Good, good. Is that something that's important to you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why is that important to you? Why do you think you need a good education?
So you can be smarter.
Okay. Now, I heard them say something about t-shirts. That there's certain days that you can wear t-shirts. Does that mean you wear something else on the other days?
Yes.
What's the dress like?
Like, if you're in pre-K, you can wear anything. If you're in K through 5, you wear a uniform, and you either the girls wear navy blue jumpers, skirts, shorts, or pants, and the boys, they wear pants and shorts. And everybody wears either blue polo shirt, a gold polo shirt, or a white polo shirt with the SPC sign right there.
So is that the uniform you wear every day?
Yes, but if it's Friday, you can wear like a spirit shirt like this, or they have 3 others that you can wear.
Well, now what does that mean, a spirit shirt? What does that mean, spirit?
It shows your spirit for St. Peter Claver and how much you think about it and how much you like it.
Very nice. Very nice. What else do you do here? Tell me, like, if somebody doesn't know about like things that you do here, are there things you do here maybe different than other schools might be? You've been in another school besides St. Peter Claver. Is there something different about St. Peter Claver that maybe makes it special or different?
Well, Vineville Academy is not what you think. So, what Vineville Academy, it doesn't really have all the things, but St. Peter Claver has PE, music, art, and other different activities that you can do. Vineville Academy only has dance, art, computer, and just music. And they never had PE, but they would call it PE, but it never was. And you have things that you can play on in their playground, but the big kids, we have separate playgrounds like here, but they have playthings, and that one has playthings. But in ours, they only have a little field that they can play in, and it's about the size of this room. And in the big kids playground, it almost takes up all the parking lot, and it's just a big field of nothing.
But here at St. Peter Claver, you said there's 2 playgrounds? Explain that. Tell me about the playgrounds, because I haven't been out there yet.
Well, the playgrounds, the preschools and kindergartners probably play over there because it's like for the preschoolers and kindergartners. They have the slides and everything, and they don't have the basketball court. But the big kids playground has the soccer goals, the basketball court, and the big playground over there.
Really nice. And then some of the other classes you mentioned, I heard some of you talk about them. You said that there's art classes and some of the other classes. I don't know if I got all of them. Tell me about some of those classes that you have here, had here at St. Peter Claver that were pretty special.
Well, PE is most special to me because I like sports and everything.
Okay.
I'm not that kind of girly girl wearing dresses. I do not like any dresses or skirts. But I love sports and exercising, so I love PE the most.
Okay, and you guys have PE class? What do you do in PE class? Tell me about that.
Right now, this week, we're learning about underhand and overhand throwing. But at the end of us doing this, we're going to play dodgeball. And any other time, we would be learning about soccer, hockey, and basketball.
Now, what about you? So maybe something different for 3rd grade. That was 5th grade. What are you doing in PE?
We're learning the same thing.
Oh, the same thing, okay. What about art? Are you doing something in art? Is that a class you have every day or every week?
Every week.
What are you doing in art?
We're painting.
Painting. Are you painting anything special right now? Not yet? What were some of the other classes you mentioned? So that's PE, art, what else? What else do you learn in school?
Library.
Library? What else?
Well, we were going to have music and Spanish, but we don't have those teachers yet.
Not yet, okay. But maybe that will be something that you'll be learning also this year.
Yes.
Okay. What are your favorite subjects? Which ones do you like the most? I know you've got an answer from because I can see it.
Science.
Science. Really? And what have you learned this year so far that's been the most exciting thing?
About plants and animal cells.
That's animal cells. Tell me about your subject.
Science.
Science also. Okay, for you this year, what's been the most exciting thing so far this school year for you?
Well, the most exciting thing in science is that this year we're learning about fossils and Pangea, and we're learning about things that happen later in time, that most people have forgotten about.
Excellent, excellent. And what about you, Jessica? I know you said PE. Is that your favorite subject?
Mainly reading is my favorite subject.
Really?
I am mainly into reading.
Excellent, excellent.
I'm a bookworm.
Bookworm, awesome. If you wanted to tell me about, like, the most important thing you wanted to tell me about St. Peter Claver, the church or the school?
It's the school to me because I love all the teachers, the students, and the way St. Peter Claver is, instead of Smileville, they have more things that I would love. Because Vineville only starts at 5th grade, but we could just go up grades. And they have more things that we could do. And the teachers aren't that mean at St. Peter Claver. Well, they're not mean at all, actually. But Vineville has really mean teachers.
All right. Taylor, so what would you like to let somebody know about St. Peter Claver? What would be important for them to know about?
I would like someone to know that if you come here, you won't have to worry about somebody bullying you, talking about you, or saying that you can't do that because how you do it and how you look. And you can just come here and you can get a good education and you can mainly get a scholarship for like doing something. Like I got a scholarship for the citizenship award, and you can also get a scholarship for if you have honor roll, and you can keep that scholarship if you get above C average.
Okay, nice. Citizenship Award. Can you explain that to me?
It's an award that you would get for if you are kind-spirited, you help others, even though some people might not want to do it because they think others are going to pick at them. But sometimes if you do it, people might want to do it after you do it.
Very nice. And you won that award. Very nice. That sounds like a very nice award to have been given. Kirsten, what about you? What would you like for someone to know about your school?
That you can come here and have a great education. And if at your other school you didn't have one, you could come here to have fun.
Well, ladies, I appreciate you taking time to come and talk to me today.
We did have a little ceremony not too long ago where the school sort of honored my family, and I brought my grandmother's picture. And we also had a copy of her first report card. And they were just amazed to see something that had 1916 on it. And they said, well, she was a pretty good student, too. But her love of the church and the faith, like I said, she just told us that she was going to donate this money to get this statue. I remember when they were asking for people to donate, and maybe the funds didn't come in as readily as they wanted them to. And I just remember her telling us that she said, I'm going to donate the money to get that Catherine Drexel statue because I had the opportunity to meet her. And she felt like she was such a great person. And one thing she didn't think that was just such a big deal, you know. She never did, you know. It was just something she got a chance to do. And I guess in her own way she was proud that she did. But she never boasted, and you know, she never did.
I'm trying to think of other questions.
Just of your memories here in the community. You guys lived here in the community.
Mm-hmm.
What was life like here in the community? You mentioned about the close-knit relationship, but tell us specifically about your community involvement and how, you know, your experience was growing up here in the Pleasant Hill community.
Well, when I say close-knit, it was like grandmother, aunt, cousin, another aunt. So it was like this whole block with just family. And practically all of those children went to St. Peter Claver too. And because I went back and I counted, and it was about 25 members of my family that actually went to school here. And we were involved in whatever activities, like the May Festival was a big thing. We'd all come to that. We all chipped in to help clean up the school. Sometimes when the nun needed help cleaning up the convent, we all helped out to do, doing that. And it was whatever they needed, we all tried to be a part of.
Well, okay, your great-grandmother Hughes was the first person that
Mm-hmm.
leads and works in the convent. Was she Catholic or did she convert to Catholicism?
She was Catholic.
She was Catholic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you know where she came from? Or she, in other words, was she born in Macon or did she come from one of the outer? Did you ever hear anything about that? And I guess your great-grandfather as well. Was he, in other words, were they Pleasant Hill folks that, came here after the Civil War? Any family stories on that?
No, the only thing I remember was, I think her name was, I remember Mama calling her Grandma Sally, so it must have been Sally Hughes.
Okay.
And I knew she lived in Pleasant Hill because the Hughes name is still associated with Pleasant Hill. And my great-grandfather, he was Indian. So,
You said Indian?
I think it was Horace Hughes. Mm-hmm. And trying to remember if anything. I think it was Sally and Horace, because I've been myself trying to do the ancestry search just to see, if I can find them and learn a little bit more about their history.
So Horace was an Indian?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what tribe, or did you ever hear anything about it, or where he was born?
No, and I want to say maybe Creek. Maybe that's what it was. From what I can remember her talking, I think it was Creek. If it wasn't Creek, it was Cherokee, one of those two.
Okay. Do you think they met in Pleasant Hill and made a life together here? And do you know what he did for a living?
No, I don't know what he did. I guess I know she was like, domestic. But I don't know if he died early, or a lot of times, the men would leave and go somewhere else to work to send money back home. So it may have been a situation like that. But I don't ever, when we came along, he wasn't there. And I don't remember my mother talking about her father that much. So it may have been he left when they were small.
Okay. Did they live on Neal Street or in that vicinity?
Mm-hmm.
Is that where the Hughes family kind of?
They lived right there in that same area.
Do you know if they owned the house or rented?
They own.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any potential that they built the house? I guess that would be one of the things.
Now that I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
What was the address of that house?
2040
You said it before.
Neal or 2090 Neal. Let's see, my mama's 2040. Yeah, she's my aunt. Her mother and my
The Hughes name.
Right. Her mother,
Sally Hughes.
her mother and my grandmother were sisters. So yeah, that's why I was talking about Mary. Yeah.
Looking at it
Those
now.
names.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've done some of the family tree
Okay.
searching.
Right.
So tell us again the connection.
With Miss Tanner?
Yeah, she's 2096
Right.
Neal Street.
Mm-hmm. Neal
is that
Avenue.
house.
And my
Yeah.
grandmother's right next door.
So
Right
you
next
grew up
door.
Next door.
Mm-hmm.
She told us about your family
Mhm.
in the interview, actually.
Yeah.
There were more than two houses. Remember,
There were several houses
Uh-huh.
there together.
Right.
They shared an outhouse or something.
Mm-hmm.
With a flush toilet.
Yeah, when they were coming up, they were, Mary Frances and my mother are first cousins because their two mothers are sisters. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we grew up there, and well, my mother, her family was 3 girls and a boy. They grew up there, and then Mary Frances and her sisters and brother grew right next door. Then when we also came to that same house, and we all grew up there. So, like I said, we were close-knit, yeah, close-knit family.
So yes, big chunks of information just came together because Miss Hughes talking about the family lot and how all you lived so close to one another.
We sure did.
That must have been fun growing up.
It was. It
I mean, you had
was.
your own block of fun, so to speak.
Yes, we did. We did.
Who did your aunts? Did everyone share responsibility for you growing up? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, because my grandmother worked, and Miss Ora, that was my grandmother's sister, she didn't work, so she sort of looked out for all of us when we were there. She would do that. And then Mary Frances, she worked. Then my mother worked. So, but Miss Ora, she watched all of us. And we knew what we were supposed to do, and we did it.
We've talked, a lot of folks that we've talked about have mentioned the importance of porches
Mm-hmm.
in Pleasant Hill.
Right, because she sat there on the porch most of the time, and she could hear what was going on in the back of the yard or even in the front. She knew if something was going on, she would call us.
Sounded like a century station. And that's your aunt, Miss Ora?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was my great aunt, because that was my grandmother's sister.
Now, the men in the family, what did most of them do? I mean, in terms of their occupation.
See, now, when my grandmother, she had remarried, I think, before we came. And that's when she became Margaret Sullivan. Her husband worked on the base, one of Robins Air Force Base.
Okay.
He worked there. And like I said, my grandmother was a seamstress. She worked at Tharp. It used to be R.S. Tharp. It used to be a shop downtown where they tailored clothes. And she also worked at Macy's. Well, it was Davidson then. She worked there. And I'm trying to think what other men were there. Because most of my mother's family, well, her brother, he moved and he lived in New York. So, like I said, I never met him. I never got to meet him. I had my aunts. One of them is here, and the other one lives in California.
Well, that makes sense. But I guess with seamstresses in the family, how about your clothes? Were they mostly handmade, or?
Quite a few of mine were. And then I sewed. My mother showed me how to sew. And I actually made my prom dress one year. Went to the prom at Mount Sales. So, yeah, it was rooted in us, I guess. Because, like I said, my grandmother, she was very good. And then Mama, she sewed a lot, too.
You know, sometimes when we use the word sew, did they sew draperies or that sort of thing, or mostly clothing?
Mostly clothing, because she did men's suits. So, you had to make them and then tailor them. Both of them did that.
Very nice, very nice. Well, were you the first person you found out to finish college, or no?
In my family, yes.
Yes.
Because, see, my mother, she went to Crandall Business College. I don't know if you know too much about Macon, but it used to be a little business college downtown. And it's like maybe probably an associate, probably. Mm-hmm. So she went there. But as far as a 4-year degree, I was the first one. Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate you coming and talking with us. I do want to ask if there's one thing, is there something I didn't ask you? That would be the first thing that you want to mention. And if not, if there's just one thought you wanted to leave us with about growing up in Pleasant Hill, we'd love to hear it.
Well, I can say that some of my fondest and best memories are growing up in Pleasant Hill. It was a safe community. We all knew each other. Even if it wasn't my street, the street behind us or the street on the side of us, everybody knew everybody. Because I was thinking, Rodney Davis, he lived maybe 2 blocks away. So we grew up knowing the Davises. And it was just a fun time, and you felt safe, and everybody looked out for one another. And I just couldn't have asked for anything better.
Tyler Guy,
And how old are you, Tyler?
9.
And do you go to school here?
Yes, ma'am.
What grade are you in here?
4th grade.
Who's your teacher?
Miss Strange.
And tell me about school here at St. Peter Claver.
Being here at St. Peter Claver, it's been really fun. And last year, I met a 5th grader named Miracle, and we've been best friends ever since. And ever since I came here, I've just had a fun time, been getting my lesson, and it's just been a joy here.
Is this the first year that you've come to school here at St. Peter Claver?
This is my 2nd year.
So you started here in
3rd grade.
3rd grade, and now you're in the 4th grade.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me some of the things that you do here that makes this a great place for you.
Well, my friends, the teachers, and all the classes, I really love them.
You said the teachers make it a good place, or a great place for you. Explain that to me.
Well, a lot of the teachers like to have fun, and they really drill things into us, all kinds of things like math equations, fractions, facts about Native Americans, and a lot of things.
What are some of the memorable things that you've maybe learned, or lessons that you've learned from your teachers here? Any memorable ones that stand out to you?
Well, I can't really think of one off the top of my head.
And outside of just the learning, are there other things that you do here that are special about your school?
Well, one day we didn't go outside to play, so we were gathered up together. Each class was gathered up, and boys and I, we really had a good time. It was like recess was a party to us.
Okay. And tell me about, just take me through a regular day. You come to school, tell me what happens.
Well, I unpack my book bag, and I do my morning work.
What is that usually? What's morning work? I don't know what that is.
Well, sometimes I had to write in my writing journal about writing on all kinds of topics. And I change classes every day. And in my last class, which is with Miss Strange, when it's close to the end of the day, we grab our book bags, we pack up, and we clean up the room, and that's kind of it.
I missed something. Okay, so you do your morning work, but then you go to different classes throughout the day?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that. What do you do in these different classes? You learn different subjects. Explain that to me, how that works.
Well, I have all kinds of subjects like art, math, social studies, English language arts, spelling, writing, reading, and PE, and I have a lot of classes.
And so do you have different teachers for each of those classes?
Well, most of them are with Miss Strange.
Which of those classes are you enjoying most this year?
Well, my favorite subject has always been math.
What kinds of things do you learn in math in 4th grade?
We're learning division, and we're reviewing different things like multiplication, because every day we go to math, we have a multiplication quiz, and my friend Gabriel and I, we have different quizzes from from the class, because we're doing better than our other classmates.
Very good, very good. In telling me about your school, what's like your most memorable experience since you've been here at school?
I can't. Well, one of them was meeting Miracle. She's always been a good friend, and this year, even though we don't really see each other that much, I still love her. She's like my right hand.
So great friendship that you made while being here. And maybe the most memorable thing with one of your teachers, or tell me about maybe the thing that you remember most about one of the teachers or someone that works here at the school.
Well, the first time I met Miss Strange, she was a really great teacher, and she always drilled things into us. And she was always sweet, but my other classmates didn't really like her, but I really loved her. She's always been a joy, and she was always sweet as a berry.
Sweet as a berry, excellent. Anything else that you'd like us to know about your experience here at St. Peter Claver?
Well, that's kind of it, because I just have a lot of fun. I learn a lot, and I just made some great friends.
Tyler, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us today.
You're welcome.
Lisandra Mancio Hernandez.
And how old are you?
I'm 11.
And what grade are you in?
I'm in 6th grade.
And how long have you been going to St. Peter Claver?
I've been here since kindergarten.
God, that's a lot of years. So tell me about school here. Tell me, first of all, let's start by telling me what you really enjoy about school here.
I enjoy everything. It's really changed my life here.
Okay, tell me how.
By the religion, and that it really affects me, how I get to learn more about God.
Now, are you a member of the church? Are you Catholic?
Yes, I'm Catholic.
And how is that a part of your school life here?
Well, we have religion class, and I learn more about Him, and I feel like I'm closer to God.
And tell me about the subjects and the classes that you have here at school. Tell me about that.
We have lots more opportunity than public schools, and we have some classes, and we learn more, and I just love going to this school.
What kind of classes? Tell me about the kind of classes that you take. 6th grade. What kinds of things do you learn in 6th grade?
We learn all kinds of stuff.
Do you have like math and science, and do you have other kinds of classes like
We have
it's a bug.
There is one bug.
Yes. Like art or other kinds of things, subjects like that?
we have art class.
And tell me about the teachers here.
They're really nice, and they're really supportive, and they teach us a lot, and they help us a lot.
Have you had an experience where the teachers have been especially helpful to you that you can remember?
They always offer help and tutor, and if I don't get something, they always come to my help. And they're like superheroes. They always come to me for help.
Now, who's your teacher this year?
Miss Lynch.
And do you remember any of the other teachers you've had while you've been here at school?
I remember some. I think I should remember most of them.
Well, let's see. If you had to think back, you've been here since kindergarten. If you had to think of some of your most memorable experiences here at St. Peter Claver, tell me a story about one of those memorable experiences.
I can't think of one right now.
What about activities? Are there any special events or activities at the school that you especially enjoy?
I played basketball I played basketball in 4th grade, and I was in dance last year in chorus, and I really enjoyed being in those activities.
Tell me about the friends that you've made being here at school.
I made a lot of friends here, and they're all really nice, and I enjoy being around them in classes, and they're friendship.
Who's your best friend?
Her name is Brianna Smith. I met her this year.
Okay, so she's a new classmate.
Yes, she came here this year.
And you said that you are a part of the church here.
Yes.
Now, you said about learning about God and being a big part of your life. Tell me about some of the things that you're involved in as far as the church. You come to Mass here? Are there other friends that you've met here at the church?
I met a lot of people. Because I go to the Hispanic Mass. I sometimes go to church in the morning, or I go to the Hispanic Mass, and I help my mom sometimes because she takes care of the kids in the nursery, and I help her sometimes.
Now explain that. They have a Mass that's done in English?
They have two Masses in English and one in Spanish.
Now, is Spanish the language that you learned first?
Yes, and then I learned English.
Now, have you always lived here in Macon?
Yes.
Now, you also are involved, you said your mom helps with the younger children.
Yes.
Now, tell me what you do to help with that. Sounds like you enjoy that.
I keep them company and I make them smile, and I help my mom if there's a problem, if she needs something, I get it for her.
Now, do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a little brother.
Is he in school?
Yes, he goes to school.
Really? What grade is he in?
4th grade.
4th grade. And what do you think? Have you thought about what you do after school?
Not really. I just go home and do my homework and then play outside. Or
what are you going to be when you grow up?
I'm still not sure yet.
If there was something that you wanted to share that would tell people about St. Peter Claver, the church, or the school, maybe someone at the church or the school, what would you want somebody to know or to remember?
It's a really good church and a really good school, and you learn a lot of things here, and it really affects you. And there's a lot of nice people here, and I will always remember being at St. Peter Claver.
Deacon David Hayden, or David Hayden.
Deacon David.
Yes.
Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from St. Louis.
Okay.
Grew up in St. Louis, and ended up here in Georgia.
When did you end up in Georgia? When did you end up at St. Peter's? David?
At St. Peter's, this is my 3rd year at St. Peter's. I started after my ordination. I was at St. Joseph's, and from there I was sent over to St. Michael's on Tybee Island. And regretfully, we had to close that school. And I was asked to come here and by Sister Margaret Mary and Father and teach, and then the bishop assigned me here, and here I am.
What's it? Okay.
I'm proud of the community here. It's a tight-knit community. They have high expectations, and they're good expectations. Excellence is never talked about, but it's expected, and they expect to do it together. Today is just an example of the families that came out with their kids. The majority of the people here are not parishioners of St. Peter Claver Catholic Church, but they support it. They support what happens here. They feel like they are members of this church, and they are. They really are. We take seriously here at St. Peter Claver the fact that we're on Pleasant Hill community. That's real important to us. I've lived in Macon since 1992. And I've seen, for example, the Rodney Davis Memorial over here at the cemetery that's just a few miles from us. And I've seen it where it was just overgrown shrubs, and then I've seen where it's been made to give the place of honor. And it wasn't until a few years ago that I realized that he is a graduate of this school. And I real proudly tell people anytime now I'm in the car with somebody and we're going down 75, I said, you see that? I said, Rodney Davis is up there. Oh, who's he? I said, he's a Congressional Medal of Honor winner. Oh, really? Yeah. I said, he's a graduate of St. Peter Claver Catholic School. And everybody is shocked. we have a lot of pride here. One of my big goals is to let everybody know what a fantastic place this is. We are not, and I use this phrase a lot, and I shouldn't being a member of clergy, but we're not what you would consider a cookie-cutter Catholic school. We, here in the true sense of the word of Catholicism, all people. Our percentage of Catholic students is low, and that's okay, because we are more of a Catholic school than most Catholic schools because of that sense of all people, all-encompassing. You've been here all day, you've seen the smiles, you've heard the laughing, and because this is home. This is home to a lot of people, because we just embrace everybody. We embrace everybody. Our diversity here at St. Peter Claver is even greater than I thought it was before I was transferred here and asked to come here. I told people at my last parish, I said, I'm going to St. Peter Claver, and the diversity there at that school I know is unreal compared to no other. And I got here and I thought, wow, it is just so amazing. We're predominantly African American, but we also have a large percentage of white children. We have a large percentage of Hispanic children. And there is no other school that I know of that has a diversity that we have that embraces each other the way that we do. It just doesn't happen. And that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it exciting. Our kids are going to leave here, and their acceptance of anybody in the world is going to be far greater than most children that go to other schools. They may not be top-notch mathematicians or scientists, but they're going to understand what life is all about. Yes, academics is very important, but being a well-rounded person can sometimes get you a lot farther in life, and just accepting anybody for what they are and who they are. There's a lot of love going on here, and that idea of love is a good. It's just amazing, you know. My kids don't. They don't see me as some old fat white guy, you know, as their principal. You know, they just don't. You know, they just. We come here, we have fun, we take care of business, and the kids are happy here. My teachers are happy here. I know you've talked to several of my staff members, and I know beyond a doubt that they said this is a great place to be for so many different reasons.
Something else.
You know, I had a lady who just moved to Macon from Kansas several weeks ago. It was really interesting, and she came to Mass here one Sunday, and she called me, and she was in one of the other private schools here in town, and she says, you know, the kids aren't happy, they don't have any friends. Can I come and let them sit for a day and just see? I want my kids to be happy. And she showed up the next morning, and she hesitantly left them. And she called me that night. I gave her my cell phone number. I said, if you have any questions, call me. And that was on a Tuesday. And she called and she said, you know, she says, I was a little hesitant to leave my children there. They've never been to a school with that diverse population before. She says, and I told them we'd think about it. And the kids said, oh no, we're going to school there tomorrow. That's our new school. And I said, you know, it's the middle of the week. Why don't you let them finish up, and then Monday, you know. She's, oh no. She said, you don't understand. She says, my kids want to go there. She says, they've never been to a school where they've made friends the first day, and everybody just is so happy there. And the little girl's in 8th grade, and you know, 8th grade girls can be a tough group of girls.
This is something echo, because one of the little boys says friends.
I want my kids to leave this school with some of the happiest memories of their life. I want them to say, you know what? I had fun when I was in 5th grade. And I want other people to look at and say, you were crazy. No, my 5th grade was fun. That's important for kids. It's important to have a happy childhood and happy memories of school. It's funny, we start every day and the kids, I know some of them are laughing at me because I get excited when I do the opening announcements in the morning. And one of the things that the kids, that we kind of instill is, we have a saying here, God is good all the time. And the kids instantly come right back. And all the time, God, is good. And it's just, the kids they know that. They know that. And it's about what they do every day, And if we don't do good on a math paper, you know what? We'll do better next time. We'll do better next time. And
my teachers are a joy, and they're as sweet as berries.
I love it.
You take that home with you tonight.
My name is Austin Pennington, and I am from Wesleyan Circle, Macon, Georgia.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 15.
Okay, and Kayla, how about you?
My name is Kayla Royal, and I live on 145 Chrismont Drive, and I'm 13.
My name is Xavier Smith. I live on 2419 Recreation Road, and I'm 14.
You're 14. Now, have you went to see St. Peter's? You're a graduate.
Yes, ma'am. All three of us are graduates.
All three are graduates, okay. So, when you guys went to school here, how did you get to school here? Because you don't live in the neighborhood, right, when you went to school here. So how did you get here?
My mom would drive me, and sometimes relatives would too, but mostly my mother.
Okay, how about you, Kay?
My mom, my dad, and that's what I did.
Gotcha.
My mom.
Your mom? So your parents drove you to school most days, right? Or carpooling. All right, let me pull back. If there is one thing, now you're looking back at school. I know you're big time, you're in high school now, right? But if you were looking back at going to school here, what would you tell somebody about this? Like in the hall, if people are saying, do I send my kids to St. Peter Clay? What would you tell them about the school?
Well, I know I can say this, that they did get me prepared for high school, because everything that we have in high school for 9th grade is everything that we learned here in 8th grade through down.
That's saying something. How about you, Kayla? What would you tell people? You can say anything. It's our secret. Go ahead.
I guess it was a good school.
All right.
I would say like the education-wise, like the book work, the schoolwork, it got us, like he said, prepared for high school, and the work that they do there in high school that we already learned here. So we up a level as far as the book work that we do in high school now.
Now, why did your parents send you here? Do you know? Did they ever tell you why?
My mom said it was a better education. Like, she didn't want me to be around a whole bunch of.
Well, for me, actually, it really wasn't my mother. It was more my father. He really didn't want me to go to public school. So, well, he said it was okay, but he would prefer me to go here because, like Xavier said, the education.
My great-great-grandmother went here, and my great-grandmother, and my grandmother, and my mother, and some more people.
Yeah. So, did they all wear uniforms too?
I don't know.
Did they ever talk to you about going to school here? So were you expected to go to school here? Let me put it that way. That's pretty much, did your brothers and sisters go to school here too? So it was a family. Did they live here in Pleasant Hill? Do you know your grandparents? No? Your mom? So they lived outside the neighborhood, but they kept coming back. I see. Were they Catholic?
Yes.
They were Catholic. Are both of you guys Catholic?
I'm Baptist.
I'm Baptist.
Okay.
But my past generation, they're Catholic, but I'm not. But like my son, like one person in my family came in, and it was my great grandma too.
I see. So you have some roots here.
Yeah, but
I don't have any.
All my family live in Pleasant Hill, so it's not like they had to come for, like they walked to school.
Well, no, I do have somebody. My cousin went here a long time ago because one of the teachers, Miss Strange, remembers teaching my cousin, so she used to relate me to him.
I see. You bring up a good point. Kayla, were you ever did anybody teachers know your mom and your grandmother?
I think so.
Did you ever get saying, oh, you know, I used to get that. Your mother never did that kind of thing, no?
I think most of them were nuns when they weren't coming here.
Did they ever talk about how it changed over time at St. Peter's? What kind of things did they talk about?
They talked about how the nuns would hit them on the knuckles with a ruler. And they would, a lot of stuff that they got in trouble for, we didn't really get in trouble for.
Like what?
I don't know.
I can say talking. And it's mostly it. The kids here really aren't that bad though. All we do is talk, so that's it.
Well, if you would look back, what would be your favorite thing in the school year? What was your favorite thing? What did you look forward to?
Ooh, basketball.
Basketball?
Yes.
Good team?
It was an okay team. We went to the championship and we got in 3rd place. So
Pretty good.
it was. I loved the basketball. That was all I looked forward to though.
Basketball season. Yeah. Okay. How about you, Kayla? What did you look forward to?
I guess teachers.
What?
Teachers.
The teachers? Were there any dances or any social events here that you went to?
No.
No? No? Okay. Not a sports fanatic then? No. Okay. How about you, Sid? What did you look forward to? What'd you say?
Sleeping.
Sleeping? Your dad's already in trouble.
Basketball, I look forward for basketball because I played basketball for a year.
Yeah, we were both on the same team.
Yeah. And basketball, some education, but like I pulled through it. But that's the only thing I got to look for.
I got you. So education, what was your favorite subject?
English.
Okay. Taylor?
I like math.
Math? Okay.
I think I say science.
Okay.
Science was awesome.
So you're well prepared when you got to high school. Where do you go to high school, can I ask?
Mount DeSales. Mount DeSales.
Okay, all of you?
No, I'll go to Northeast High School.
Okay.
I go to Mount DeSales.
And so once a year, do you come back here to this event? I know they've only done it for 3 years. When do you see the kids that you went to school with here?
My brother goes here.
Okay.
And my cousins are about to go here. So I pick them, well, me and my granddad, we come and pick my brother up sometimes.
So you still are around the school pretty much. How about you, Kayla?
My brother goes here.
When you have children, are they going to go here?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
My brothers and sister go here. And to my children going here now. We're not even going to be in Georgia.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you very much. But I'd like to end. What's one thing you want people to know about St. Peter Claver? Or just the neighborhood? One thing you'd like to say about it? What would you say? Looking back. It's kind of hard to talk about elementary school. Did you guys wear uniforms the whole time?
Yes.
You did?
Well, not like the whole time. Like, we have exceptions some days. Like, you pay $1 to do one thing, and then you'll pay another $1 to do another thing. It's like that.
Did you have nuns when you were in school?
I did.
We had one.
One?
And that was
Sister Beth. Oh.
Sister Margaret and I forgot her name.
Well, the only reason I've had a nun is because I went to school a little longer before them. So when I was like in 1st grade, I think we had Sister Beth, and we had another sister, but I can't remember her name.
Was it different having a nun versus a lay teacher?
It really wasn't different. They were all the same, really. Good teachers. So.
Well, Kayla, with your grandma and great-grandmother, I can't believe all those people. What's your last name, Kayla?
Royal.
Royal, okay. And where did your family live?
I don't know.
You don't know? That's something to find out, because that's something else to have that many people, those generations go to one school and one place. That's pretty cool. It doesn't usually happen that way in today's society. But again, is there something you would talk about or what? leave one thought about St. Peter's?
I guess.
The education.
Oh, I know.
That reason. The education.
Well, like they used to say to us, if the teachers yell at you a lot, or it may seem like they're picking on you, really they're just trying to motivate you more and get you ready. So, because I used to get mad when a teacher would yell at me and I would get upset because I didn't think I did anything wrong. But it's better, if you think about it, it's better to have a harsh teacher than just an easygoing teacher. And a lot of the teachers, they're not harsh, but they get you motivated to do more stuff.
Because that means if the teacher's not motivated, that means they don't care about your education. And if the teacher is motivated, that means they're trying to put through more effort than you are for their education. And like if a teacher sits in the desk and don't give you no word, that means they don't care about your education. They have theirs. They don't care if you got yours, and the teacher that is motivated, they have theirs, but they trying to give you what they have.
That's a really important point. Now, you guys, well, thank you for coming and talking with us today.
I have one quick question.
Sure.
You mentioned that the kids here aren't very bad. Do you have any idea why they're not so bad here, but maybe are bad at other schools?
They see other kids doing other things, really. And the kids here don't do anything because they're not around that environment, the kind of environment.
More at home or here or just all over?
I say you learn more at school and you see other kids doing things and you copy from their behavior. But since this is more of a Christian school, you see other kids getting along, not fighting, no violence or anything like that.
I would think fighting would be frowned on, right? Did kids ever get expelled when you went to school here?
I think so.
I one child did.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going here at that time. My other cousin was.
I was going here, I just can't remember who.
Right, okay.
But like, y'all about all that stuff, y'all was talking about why it is different from the children that go here than the people that go to different schools. It's because, okay, some students at different other schools, they have to lead instead of following people. They can live in a bad environment, but they have to try to make themselves better than what they grew up in. Instead of people here, some have lived in bad environments. I know I have, but you have to make yourself to be a better person than what environment you grew up in.
I appreciate you sharing that. That's a good thought. All right, you guys, thank you very much.